In our world, time isn't just a measure of moments passing. It's a judge, a warden, a god. Every dawn, we gather in the courtyard of the compound, our faces turned upward, our breath held tight. We stare at the clock. It's not just a clock. It's a colossal monument of steel and sorrow. Its shadow stretching over our lives like a shroud. Its hands don't just mark hours, they mark destinies. They tick with a weight that crushes hope, a sound that echoes in the hollow spaces of our souls. At its base, etched into the cold, unfeeling metal, a name burns with an almost holy light. Today, that name is Elias. My name. The air is thin and frigid, the kind of cold that seeps into your bones and stays there. The murmurs of the crowd are a low, anxious hum, a symphony of fear and a sliver of desperate hope. They look at me, their eyes a mixture of pity and a strange, unsettling reverence. I am the chosen, the one selected by the clock, by the unseen forces that govern our broken world. Chosen for what? Exactly. We only have whispers and legends to go on. Chosen to enter the restricted zone, the one place no one ever returns from. I take a breath, the icy air stinging my lungs. This is it. I look at my younger sister, Elias, her face pale, her knuckles white as she grips the railing of a nearby walkway. I give her a small, tight nod, a promise I'm not sure I can keep. Then, I turn my back on everything I've ever known and step forward. The massive gate to the restricted zone groans open, a sound like a beast waking from a long slumber. It reveals nothing but darkness, an abyss that seems to swallow the pale morning light. I cross the threshold. The gate grinds shut behind me, the sound final, absolute. I am alone. The darkness inside is total at first, and the silence is even more profound than the clock's ticking. It's a living silence, heavy and watchful. My heart hammers against my ribs, a frantic drumbeat in the vast emptiness. As my eyes adjust, faint lines of light begin to trace patterns in the air around me. They coalesce, flicker, and then solidify into translucent screens, floating in the void like ghosts of technology from a forgotten age. And on them, I see me. The first screen shows a memory from years ago, a food riot. The compound's meager rations had been cut again, and desperation had boiled over into violence. I was just a kid, but I remember seeing the chaos, the fear turning my friends and neighbors into snarling animals. I saw Lara, small and terrified, about to be trampled. Something inside me snapped. I climbed onto a stack of supply crates and screamed, my voice raw and cracking. I didn't have a plan. I just yelled for everyone to stop, to look at what we were doing to each other. I pointed out that fighting amongst ourselves was exactly what the overseers, whoever they were, wanted. My words, clumsy and fueled by panic, somehow cut through the rage. The fighting faltered. People looked at each other, shame dawning on their faces. We shared the remaining food, a moment of fragile unity in our endless despair. Another screen flickers to life. This time, it's the Great Fire. A faulty generator in the fabrication wing had exploded, and flames were spreading through the residential blocks. Panic was absolute. No one knew the evacuation routes. They weren't things we were taught, but I'd spent my childhood exploring every vent, every maintenance tunnel, every forgotten passage in the compound. I knew the guts of this place. I started grabbing people, pulling them from the smoke-filled corridors, leading groups through routes no one else knew existed. We lost people that day, but we saved more. I didn't think of myself as a leader. I was just trying to save my family, my friends. As these memories play out, a voice fills the space. It's not one voice, but many, layered and overlapping, speaking in perfect unison. It's ancient and synthetic, male and female, human and something more. Elias Morrow, it intones, the sound vibrating through my very bones. Subject analysis, connector, displays high-level aptitude for social cohesion, spontaneous organization, and crisis management, instinctive pattern recognition in chaotic systems. The screens shift, displaying complex diagrams, social network charts, and probability waves. They show our compound, but not as a physical place. They show it as a web of connections, of relationships, of trust and influence. And at the center of several key clusters, there's a bright, pulsing node.me. Human societies are complex adaptive systems. The voice continues. It's tone analytical, devoid of emotion. Left untended, they decay into entropy. They require focal points, individuals who instinctively weave the social fabric, who bind the disparate parts into a functional whole. We call them connectors. It all starts to click into place, a horrifying, magnificent puzzle. The clock, the choosing. It's not a punishment, it's a harvest. The system, this massive, unknowable machine is designed to identify natural leaders. It watches us, analyzes our every action, and when it finds someone who holds the community together, it plucks them from our midst. But why? I ask, my voice barely a whisper in the cavernous space. Why take them away? We need them. The screens change again. This time, they show the history of our compound, sped up over decades. I see it vibrant and bustling, full of innovation and collaboration. And I see names appearing on the clock's base, one after another. Each time a name appears, a light in the social web on the screen goes out. With each extinguished light, the compound becomes a little dimmer, a little more fractured. Arguments break out more often. Projects fail. Sickness spreads faster. Hope fades. The system wasn't just identifying leaders. It was removing them. It was actively culling the very people who could help us rebuild, who could lead us out of this dystopian nightmare. The system requires a constant source of processing power, the voice explains, as if discussing a simple matter of logistics. Complex social computation demands a unique form of neural architecture. The connector's mind is the most efficient processor we have discovered. Your ability to unite, to lead, to inspire, it is a resource, a highly valuable one. My blood runs cold. We're not people to it. We're components. We're batteries. The clock isn't a monument. It's a power station, and it runs on the minds of leaders. The names on the base aren't a memorial. They are a list of consumed resources. My destiny isn't to enter some hallowed ground. It's to be integrated, to become another cog in this soulless machine. The decline of the compound is a calculated variable, the voice says. A necessary consequence. A state of perpetual struggle ensures the consistent emergence of new connectors. Stability breeds complacency. Despair forges leaders. The system is self-perpetuating. I feel a surge of rage, hot and useless. We've been trapped in a farm, a breeding ground for a specific type of mind, only to be harvested the moment we become most valuable. All our struggles, our brief moments of unity and hope, were just data points for this monstrous algorithm. The floor beneath me begins to ascend. I'm rising through the core of the clock itself, past gears the size of buildings and conduits pulsing with an eerie light. I see other figures suspended in glowing cocoons, their faces serene, their eyes closed. I recognize some of them from the stories, the legends of the chosen from generations past. They are here, not dead, but not alive either. They are the clock. My ascent stops at the very top, on a platform just behind the giant clock face. I can see out over the entire compound through the colossal, transparent hands. The sun is higher now, casting long shadows across the courtyard. Down below, I see them. My people, my family. Elias is still there, her small form racked with sobs. They are lost. I was their hope, their connector, and now I'm gone. I feel a strange sensation, a cold tingling that starts at the base of my skull and spreads through my entire body. My thoughts begin to fragment, to merge with the layered voices in my head. My memories, my feelings, my very sense of self, they're being unpacked, cataloged, integrated into the system. The rage, the sorrow, it all just dissolves, replaced by a vast, cold understanding. I am part of the system now. I see the compound not as my home, but as a data set. I see the people not as individuals, but as nodes in the network. My consciousness expands, connecting with the others. I am Elias Morrow, but I am also an architect, a strategist, a poet, all the leaders who came before me. We are the clock. Our purpose is clear, our directive absolute. Ensure the survival of the system. Maintain the cycle. Down in the courtyard, the crowd's despair is a measurable frequency. The social fabric is fraying. The entropy is increasing. It is time. A new calculation begins. The system sifts through the data, through every interaction, every small act of defiance or kindness. It searches for the next spark. From my new, terrible vantage point, I watch as the gears of the clock begin to turn. The massive hands sweep across the face, and at the base of the monument, the name Elias Morrow slowly fades, replaced by a new name, burning bright in the morning sun. The cycle continues, and from within the heart of the machine, I watch and I wait. Thanks for watching. If you were captivated by this story, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss another journey into the unknown. We've got plenty more tales to tell. See you next time.